Welcome to Land Academy. I'm Jack Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit.
We show you how to buy real estate for half of what it's worth.
And sell it on the internet really fast.
We are Jack and Jill,
and this is the Jack and Jill Show too.
With over 15,000 completed transactions, we're the experts at acquiring property.
Of all kinds, not just land.
For half price and flipping them for way more.
All right, let's get this show started.
Jack Butala and Jill DeWit.
Good day.
Welcome to our show today.
Thank you, Jack.
In this episode, Jill and I talk about the best data-driven businesses and why they succeed. Well, it turns out we have one of them, and so do our members. Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Okay. Matt asked, I have the option to purchase a property that happens to be to have a small duplex on it that hasn't been used in years and is likely a tear down. Thoughts?
Buy it.
Goal. Score.
Here's why. Anything that differentiates your property from a vacant piece of land on the internet is going to much more likely to be an attribute versus anything else. Mm-hmm. And then, so we haven't talked about it in a while, but we gauge all these properties based on the 4 A's, right, Joe? Mm-hmm. Acreage, more is better. Affordability, cheaper is better. Access, county road's better than a dirt road's better than no access. And attributes, like is it close to the Grand Canyon? Does it have an unused old duplex on it? And on and on and on. The more attributes, the better. This is a fantastic scenario. Anytime, other than nuclear waste,
right?
If there's something on the property, it's almost always better.
Right. Let them decide. Let your bite tip. I would showcase that, have some photos on there. Look, hey, I don't know anything about it, but there's a structure there. It could be something you could remodel and make your own, and that it's awesome.
Now's a good time to, actually, Jill brings up a great point. You don't have to take responsibility with what's on your property like you do a primary residence. You can always turn it back around to the person who's interested in the property by using this sentence, and I say it a million times. Hey, buyer. See how cheap this property is? It's because I don't know anything about it. Somebody told me that there's a structure on there, and I sent somebody out there, and here's a picture of it. But that's all I know. Mm-hmm. You should go check it out.
Yeah.
Really, you might be finding the biggest piece of gold.
Yeah.
In a garage sale piece of gold.
Right.
Mona Lisa in a garage sale.
Right.
I don't know, but I know that I'm going to make a little bit of money on it.
Exactly. And I hope you make even more money, and it's great.
Awesome.
Exactly.
If you have a question or you want to be on the show, reach out to either one of us on landinvestors.com. Today's topic, what are the best data-driven businesses and why are they so awesome? Why do they completely remove almost all of the risk for success? This is the meat of the show. So I came up with this topic because I was watching a news talk show in the morning a few weeks ago, and they were talking about Foursquare. Jill, tell us what Foursquare is.
Okay, so Foursquare is a technology company that I'm reading about this.
It's a social media company.
It is.
Where you check in.
It entices you to check in with your location and what you're doing in a social sense to kind of brag and connect, socially.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
that's
like you go to a restaurant and you say, I'm checking in at the restaurant, and the restaurant's awesome, or the restaurant sucks, or whatever.
And you're often rewarded. You might be rewarded with coupons or discounts and things like that. They say every day with real world perks and bragging rights, hey, look where I am. Stuff that we do already, we do it all on Facebook and social media anyway. I'm standing at the top of, Machu Picchu. We're going to take a photo, seriously, and brag about that. It's kind of like this, and it's like restaurants and businesses,
right?
Is what it is.
You can do it. It's my understanding you can do it with products too. You can sit there and say, I got a new game for the Xbox, and and it's great, or it's not what I thought, or whatever. So what ends up happening, and Foursquare was in a lot of financial trouble until recently. They got a new CEO, and the CEO took all that data and made sense of it, organized it, and started to make it available to companies. So when people stop checking in at a certain restaurant after about 30 days, the restaurant can buy the data and find out why. Maybe they got a new chef and the dish that they were famous for isn't. You can just see the trending downward data and predict that in a couple weeks, if this continues, this restaurant might be out of business. Mm-hmm. Think about it from a McDonald's standpoint, that level now. Maybe some branches are doing really well, some are not. And, it's very predictable. Think of a swarm of bees, and it's migrating and moving and based on where their food might be, or not so much even a swarm of bees, but a school of fish. Mm-hmm. Their behavior changes based on a bunch of stuff in real time. That's what Foursquare is. It's a data-driven business, and you can make logical, predictable outcomes. Mm-hmm. Well, that takes all the risk out of it. I'm going to apply it to real estate here in a minute.
Well, I was can I share some of my stuff here, some notes. So here's what Foursquare is doing to entice the users, and then I'm gonna let you talk more about what they do with the results. So to entice the users, they have things like the Foursquare City Guide. So they're helping people learn their way around, maybe like a Yelp kind of thing, different restaurants with perks to go to different places and see different things. They also have a thing called Foursquare Swarm, which is kind of a game. So they have all kinds of good things in there. Now, here's some of the numbers, which I thought was really interesting. More than 50 million people are using them each month, and they average 9 million check-ins a day on Foursquare Swarm.
Amazing.
And they are not in every city even, by the way. I mean, when you look at the list of cities and list of countries, it's real limited. So they are killing it with this small list. Imagine when it's going to be, really branch out. So that's right now they have 93 million places around the world that are on Foursquare.
Amazing.
It's really cool. So I just wanted to share that.
So, you can see now why it's so valuable to find out for small business owners and for large business owners that have products like hairspray or something like that. I don't know, whatever, the cosmetics. Yeah, they pipe in on that. So, and they're motivated to get a coupon or whatever for the next purchase. In real estate, it's even better. In real estate, who owns, through RealQuest Pro or Title Pro, there's a closed set of data. It's 148 million plus or minus properties. Well, you know exactly who owns every single property. You know how big or small it is. You know all kinds of data on this property. And through getting completed sales and posted listings through various parts on the internet, you know what it's selling for within reason. Well, that makes our job ridiculously data-driven easy.
Right.
You just offer less than what like-kind properties are selling for, and you let them choose whether or not they want to sell it. Mm-hmm. You make them an offer for less than it's worth. They're going to do one of three things. They're going to sign the offer and send it back and give you a kiss on the lips. They're so happy to sell it. They're going to yell at you because they think that it's worth a lot more and don't like your opinion of its value. Ha ha, that's hilarious.
Right.
We call that the hate, Hate Ashbury. Or they're going to throw it away and do nothing. Mm-hmm. And it's very predictable. Their behavior is very, very predictable, thanks to us, because we've sent out millions and millions and millions of offers.
Right. We
can tell you how many offers it's going to take. It takes about 1 out of 200 offers that are sent out and properly priced. You're going to buy a piece of land. Mm-hmm. About 1 out of 2,500 houses that you offer, if it's priced properly, make homeowners offer, they're going to sell it. Mm-hmm. I don't know what else to say. Like mic drop.
I know. That's it.
Well,
there's the answers.
Why doesn't everybody do this then?
I know.
I don't know.
Isn't that interesting?
Well, I do know.
I think it's too good to be true. I think people say this can't be real. Yeah, it is. We're not the
People
only ones.
afraid.
You just brought up another industry that uses data to do what we just talked about.
Everybody doesn't do this because they're afraid of data.
Yeah.
Or they're afraid of spreadsheets. Or they're afraid of themselves. Mm-hmm. That's why. It's all in their head.
Exactly.
If you're awful at math and can't stand spreadsheets and really just want to, make flower arrangements all day, or some version of that, this is not for you. But for the rest of us who aren't afraid of that stuff, knock yourself out. Mm-hmm. We have all the tools.
Exactly.
We're licensed providers of every single, tool that you need to do this for a living.
Exactly.
We have members, many, many members now.
At the pro level.
Make way more money than we do.
We're the pros, and this is what the pros use.
Right.
And this is what you get to use.
So data-driven businesses remove the risk from failure.
It's true. I don't have to try to guess what I think somebody wants or what I think they're going to like. No.
I love being in control, for better or for worse. Some people think that's real unhealthy. I don't care. I want to be in control of my destiny.
I know.
You know?
No.
I want our children to go to the best schools and stuff.
No, I think
that's what this money thing's all about.
Well, you know what? I think everyone has some version of control, and they like that because even if I worked for a job with a pension, I'm in control of that. You know, I chose that. I'm here for a reason. So we all have some control, but yours is different.
So here's some examples of data that I think, did you ever hear that in college? I had a statistics professor, he said, and he opened the class by saying this: there's lies, damn lies, and statistics.
Wow.
You can manipulate statistics to be the biggest liar.
Jack, I have never heard that quote from you. No, that's a great quote. I really like it.
It's not original. It's like Shakespeare or something.
Oh, I like it.
So you can manipulate. Here's some ways that I think data is not good and not beneficial. Let's say there's a funny statistic about Detroit high schools. 25% of the people that enter a Detroit public school graduate.
That's kind of sad.
So let's say that's real. Is that helping anybody, or is it predictable? What about the 75%? Maybe
10%.
Maybe
that
those
don't finish.
25%. And if you just cut the statistic off right there, maybe those 25% go on to be medical doctors.
Right.
We don't know. It's not that swarm all-inclusive data that we just talked about with Foursquare, or that we talked about with these real estate assessor databases.
Right.
So data can be hurtful, and you can actually become less informed and pointed in the wrong direction with a lot of data. So it's our responsibility to pick and choose and use it wisely.
Remember last night we were just talking about data. We were at the hockey game. I was saying,
right. Yeah.
All right. So,
perfect example.
So, it was recently. It was a couple games into the Stanley Cup Finals, and as we all know,
Pittsburgh's up.
Pittsburgh
2-0.
Right. So at the time we were talking, and I'm like, okay, statistically, what's going to happen? Statistically, they're probably set up to win. Probably not win in 4 games, maybe 5 or 6, but I don't know. But you just brought up a good point, because we were talking about this, and I'm like, you don't want to have the other team thinking about the stats, the losing team, because they're gonna focus on, well, statistically we're going to lose, and our heart's not in it. So that ties into what you just said about it can be detrimental when you think about the negative stats.
Yeah, you want the guys out on the ice trying to score.
Right.
Not thinking about anything else but that.
Exactly. We have a 95% chance of losing at this point.
Anyway, you're listening to this show for a very, very good reason. And if you're contemplating or you are in this business, congratulations, because you're making a good data-driven choice with very predictable outcomes. Mm-hmm. What you put into it, you can almost guarantee you're going to get something. You're going to get a predictable outcome out of it. It's
Beautiful.
Not like opening a restaurant and wondering if everyone's going to walk in.
It's true.
That's scary to me.
Mm-hmm.
Join us in another episode where Jack and Jill discuss how to use information. Man, that's appropriate for this show.
Mm-hmm. And inspiration, that's me.
To get just about anything you want.
We use it every day to buy property for half of what it's worth and sell it immediately.
You're not alone in your data-driven real estate ambition. All right, so I love this topic. You know that.
I know. Anything about data.
Every time we go to CoreLogic down in Irvine,
mm-hmm.
and we meet with those guys, and they all say the same thing. Well, I did a little research, and you love data as much as we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, man, I'll sit here all day
exactly
and talk about the new data-driven real estate products you guys are about to release. Give me the inside track, and we do.
Right.
I mean, last time we did it, they had to bring lunch in. Remember that?
I know.
Or actually, you brought lunch and cookies and stuff.
Yeah.
Those guys will never forget that.
You don't remember? We're actually meeting with them next week.
I don't remember.
It's on the calendar.
I'm excited.
Good.
We get to get all the,
some more inside
the day
track.
after that, we will disclose fully, disclose in the show and discuss the new products that are coming out.
Yep.
One of them I know is access to all the MLSs in the country without being a real estate agent at all. We're going to license ourselves to provide that too. That's exciting. Talk about completed sales comps and stuff. It's awesome. Information and inspiration to buy undervalued property.
We are Jack and Jill, and this was the Cash Flow from Land Show.
We are the experts at acquiring property
Of all kinds, not just land.
for half price, just so we can flip it for way more.
And really fast. Thanks for listening. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.